Hello, everyone. My name is Jess. I'm
Okay,
Steph.
so before we get started, I'm just going to admit a couple of people. Perfect. So thank you all again for attending our sixth Max Monday. We're over halfway done peak. And this is one of our favorite sessions, our favorite days of the week. I think we all can agree. So I wanted to quickly introduce, we have Steph and Jess from the University of Calgary here. They're going to be speaking to us about preparing our minds for competition. So as always, everyone's going to be muted. But what I'll do is, you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll make sure the three of us monitor that, and then there'll be time for question and answers throughout the evening session. And then you can always use your hand up emoji in the bottom there. That some of you have used that before. But get ready for a really great session, and thank you again for being here. So without further ado, Steph and Jess, you take it away.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. So as Jill introduced us, my name is Steph, and I'm a student at the University of Calgary. And I've also been involved with Special Olympics for the past 3 years in the Healthy Athletes program, especially with Strong Minds. And I've really been loving it. I also helped with some strong mindfulness webinars during the summer and did some similar kind of things as we'll be doing today. And Jess, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself to start off.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess. I'm excited to be here with you all on this Monday night. I'm also from the University of Calgary, and I've also been involved in Special Olympics for a few years doing Strong Minds. So today we're going to be talking about ways to prepare your mind for competition. So, what kinds of sports do people play? What are your sports?
Feel free to introduce yourselves to us in the chat. We would love to know what sports you played. Got some bowling, swimming.
Ooh, figure skating, track and field, hockey, basketball, golf.
Sorry.
Awesome. Skiing and soccer, figure skating, rhythmic gymnastics, curling. Ooh, we've got some who do all of them. That's awesome. Bowling, skiing. Wow, we've got a great mix today.
Wow, it's so nice to meet you guys. Another thing that I'm wondering is, I'm guessing a lot of you have tried mindfulness before. Is that right? Could you just say in the chat if you've done mindfulness before or if this is your first time? Awesome. Got lots of yeses. So you guys will probably already be pros at a lot of this stuff, and this will just be some more techniques that you can try, because it's good to pick some favorites that you can keep practicing.
That's right. And so I know when I compete, so I used to compete in track and field. And before my races, I would get really nervous. Does anyone else get nervous before they do their competition? See some hands up. Yes, no, yes. Yeah. So it looks like a lot of people get nervous before they do their sport, and that's okay. That's normal to get nervous before, right? It shows that you really care about what you're doing. You want to do well. But sometimes if you get too nervous, it can kind of interfere with your sport. So we're going to be talking about some ways that you can use mindfulness to help get your mind ready, and your mind and your body ready for your sport.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk really quickly about what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is a set of skills, and it can include things like meditation, being kind to ourselves and others, and also paying attention to how our bodies feel. So sometimes we say that we're kind of going on autopilot and we're not really paying attention to what's going on around us or how we're really feeling in our bodies. So mindfulness helps us focus on things like that. Mindfulness is really helpful in a lot of different ways. So it can help us feel calm and relaxed. It can improve our physical health. So by lowering stress, helping us to sleep better, lowering our blood pressure, which of course is good for preventing different kinds of diseases like heart disease. And it can also help our minds. So by improving focus and concentration. So that's also a big part of playing sports, right? Because it takes a lot of brain power to stay focused and to really do our best. So mindfulness can help us with that. And then I just have some examples of mindfulness in sports. So we have Bianca here is a tennis player who is Canadian, and she has said that mindfulness helps her to stay focused in games during the tense moments. Kobe Bryant has also said that he had mindfulness every morning for about 10 minutes. And then Johnny Wilkinson was a soccer player, and he used mindfulness right before he kicked the winning goal in 2003, which brought the World Cup home for England. And I'm just going to talk about our plan for tonight. We have a lot of activities planned, and that's because we all have different brains. So our brains are all wired differently, and different things will work for different people. There might be some things that you don't really like, and that's totally fine. So we're just gonna try out a few today. So we're gonna do some deep breathing techniques. We're gonna try 2 different ones. So the figure 8 breathing and hot chocolate breathing. We're gonna do some progressive muscle relaxation, and then we'll end with a loving kindness meditation. So let's get right into it. So we're going to start with figure 8 breathing. So up on the screen, we have a big figure 8. And let's start by getting comfortable in our chairs. So maybe sit up straight, put your feet down on the ground, and just get ready to kind of focus. So to begin, we're gonna point a finger in front of us, and we're going to follow the figure 8 on the screen. So just this kind of movement back and forth. Just practice that for a bit. And now we're going to start breathing in time with drawing the figure 8 with our finger. So we're going to breathe in when we're at the center and do one side breathing in, and on the other side, we're gonna breathe out. So in and out, in, out. Breathe in deeply. Breathing in and out. Try breathing in through your nose like you're sniffing a flower, and breathing out like you are blowing out a birthday candle. So it's a nice long breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in. Breathing out. Okay, now you can put your hand down and allow yourself to relax. Good job with that one, everyone. And then Jess is going to show us a different way that we can breathe.
Yeah, so we know that the figure 8 breathing might not work for everyone. It might not be everyone's favorite, and that's okay. Another way that we could do deep breathing throughout the day, maybe you want to do it before you take before you take a shot in basketball or hockey, or before you bowl. It can be something that can be really helpful to get your mind ready and maybe calm some of those nerves. So another way that I like to do it is hot chocolate breathing. So for this one, you want to put your hands together like this and pretend like you have a nice warm cup of hot chocolate. Okay, so we see some people in the chat are saying they love hot chocolate. That's perfect. I like hot chocolate too. So we'll get comfortable in our chairs. We have our cup of hot chocolate in front of us. And then just like you have hot chocolate, you're going to sniff that hot chocolate and breathe it deep in through your nose. And get a good smell of that delicious hot chocolate. But the hot chocolate is still a little bit too hot, so you've got to blow on it to cool it off. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, sniffing that hot chocolate, and blow out, cooling it off through your mouth. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. And you can even picture having that hot chocolate in your hands, thinking about how delicious it smells and how good it's going to taste. And you could even do it with real hot chocolate if you have that nearby. So let's do it again. So a big sniff of your hot chocolate and cool it off. And let's do that 3 more times together. So breathe it in through your nose and out. And sniff it in again. And cool it off. Breathe it in 1 more time. And cool it off. All right, we can sit back and relax. So, what do people think of the different breathing strategies or breathing activities that we did? Some people like the hot chocolate one. And it doesn't hurt your hands. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to hold your arm in the air and make that figure 8, right? Did anyone actually have hot chocolate nearby in front of them that they could use? No, we just had to picture it. Yeah, you know what? The hot chocolate one is my favorite one too. So when we were doing both of the breathing ones, did people feel that could you like feel your breath going deep into your belly? Could you feel your breath in your body? Seeing some nods. Awesome. And some people found it calming. That's great. Great. And how many people, when they were breathing in deep, how many could feel it through their nose when you're breathing in, smelling that hot chocolate? Could you feel it in your nostrils? Yeah. That's great. Did anyone find it hard to pay attention for the whole time? Some people, yeah, some no. All right, it looks like we've got a mix on that, right? And that's okay. Just like Steph said at the beginning, mindfulness is you're kind of training your mind to do this, right? So just like you're not going to be able to knock all the pins down or do like your best jump in figure skating, you're not going to do that perfect right off the hop, right? It's something that you have to practice. So that's okay if it was hard to pay attention during that. If you keep doing it more, it might get a little bit easier to pay attention while you're doing those exercises. And I see in the chat, some people are asking if it's something, if it's good to do that when you get really anxious. And this is something that you can do when you're feeling anxious or when you're nervous, maybe before competition, maybe after, if you've just had like a really great game and you need to maybe calm down a little bit. It's something that can help. All right, so maybe we'll move on to the next activity now. So the next activity we'll do is called progressive muscle relaxation. And it's another thing that you can do when you're feeling nervous or really worried or something like that. It can be something that can help. So we're going to try to get just as relaxed as this nice frog that we have on our screen here. Doesn't he look relaxed? Yeah, okay. So for this one, it's a little bit different. We're gonna get our whole bodies involved this time, but we're gonna start with our face. So I want you to make your face as tense as you can. So you want to really scrunch your face up, get all the muscles going, look like you're really angry, and then relax. Okay, so you want to scrunch your eyes, maybe shrivel your forehead up, purse your lips like you've tasted something really sour like a lemon, tense your whole face all together, and then relax it. So I want everyone to pay attention to what it feels like when your face is really scrunched up. So let's do that together. And relax. Can you feel the difference between when your face is really scrunched and tense and when it's relaxed? Seeing some nodding. Okay, now let's move it down a bit. So now I want you to tense your shoulders. So lift your shoulders up towards your head as tight as you can without hurting, and relax. And let's do that again and really pay attention to the difference. So don't do it when you don't want to hurt yourself while you're doing it, just as much as you can without hurting. So really bring your shoulders almost up to your ears if you can, or however far up you can get it, and relax. And each time you do this, I want you to notice the sensations in your body when you're tense and when you're relaxed. So now, tense the muscles in your chest and your upper back. So you want to flex all your muscles in your chest and relax. And notice the difference. And now let's move to your arms. So like you're showing off your arm muscles, flex your muscles. Make them as tight as you can and let go. And feel what it's like to relax your arms and hands, soft and relaxed. And let's try that again. So flex your arm muscles. You can make fists and relax. And now let's move down to your whole torso. So we've got stomach muscles, your back muscles, your chest muscles, all of your upper body. We'll tense it all up at once. So all the way up to your shoulders. Tensing as much as you possibly can. Tense and relax. Soften your muscles and notice how that feels. And let's do one more time, tensing up your whole upper body. So your shoulders, your arms, your stomach, your back. And relax. So now let's move it down a little bit more. So tense both your legs at the same time. So that's your legs, your bum, your thighs, your calf, your feet. Tight, tight, tight. And relax. And let's do that again. Your whole legs. And relax them. And you really want to make sure you're feeling the difference between when you're tensing all your muscles and when you relax them. So now we're going to do your whole body. So we've kind of moved our way from the head down, and now we're going to do your whole body all together. Is everyone ready? Yeah? Okay. So let's tense our whole body, our face, our shoulders, our arms, our stomach, our legs, our feet. And relax. So when we're doing this, remember to pay attention to what it feels like, the difference between when you're tensed and you're relaxed. So when we're really tense, it's kind of like we're uncooked spaghetti, right? So have you ever seen uncooked spaghetti? It's really hard and stiff. And then when you relax, you're like cooked spaghetti and you're kind of floppy and you just relax and kind of melt into your chair. Okay, so we're gonna do that again and think when you're tensing your whole body, think you're uncooked spaghetti, and then we'll cook and we'll relax. So let's go your whole body one more time. So tense face, shoulders, arms, stomach, legs, feet, and relax. And kind of melt into your chair. And now breathe in deeply, a big breath in your belly, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And one more deep breath, try to get even more relaxed. You can even slouch down in your chair, get really comfy, in through your nose and out. And as we finish that one up, notice how you feel now compared to when we started. Does anyone feel any different? Yeah, so we see some people are feeling relaxed, tired. Sometimes when you get really relaxed, you get kind of sleepy. People feeling at peace and ease, that's great. Tired, maybe sore, maybe tensing up your muscles was a little bit sore, right? And then hopefully when you tense them up and then let your shoulders go, for example, it helps to loosen them up. Yeah, so people are getting sleepy, relaxing and calm. That's great to hear. How would you describe the feelings of tension? What did that feel like? Did it feel comfortable when people were like really tense and squeezing? Yeah, like a wrecking ball. Exactly. Yeah, someone here said they feel mad and angry when they're really tense. And you know what? I feel that way too. When I'm really angry, I might clench my fists together. I might have my shoulders up here towards my ears, kind of like I'm really tense, right? And people felt a little bit anxious during that, angry. But then how did people feel when you got rid of that tension and relaxed? Did people notice the difference between those that tense feeling and the relaxed? Yeah. It looks like people felt, yeah, someone felt like a melting chocolate bar. That's great. It sounds very relaxing. And people felt happy once they came out of that like really tense, maybe angry or upset state. And then they kind of melted like a chocolate bar and felt more relaxed and in control. And was it hard to stay focused during this one? No, this one might have been a little bit less hard to stay focused because you're kind of involving your whole body, right? And again, if it was hard to stay focused, that's totally okay. This is something that we can practice and work at and get better as we go. And my last question about this is, what did people like better? Did they like this one better or the breathing? What were people's favorites so far? Breathing. Some people liked all of them. That's great. Yeah, you know what? I like the hot chocolate breathing the best too. And I like both of them, but I think this one might be a little bit easier to do wherever I am, right? Or sorry, the breathing one is a bit easier to do wherever I am. Maybe I'm in the car on the way to my competition, I can do it. So yeah, a lot of people liked the breathing. That's great to see. And some that like the muscle relaxation too, which is great because everyone has different, like Steph said, everyone has different brains. Some things will work for some and they might not work for others, and that's okay. So I think next we're going to move on to another activity. And Steph's going to talk to you about this one.
Hey, good job on that, everyone. It's so great to see everyone participating and talking in the chat. So now we're going to do a loving kindness meditation. So sometimes we feel frustrated with ourselves or with other people that are around us, and those negative feelings can sometimes feel stressful. So when we're busy, we might not even notice how much those feelings are happening, but they can start to weigh us down. And it takes work to think and feel love and kindness towards ourselves and other people. So that's something that we are going to work on a little bit today. With regular practice, we can get better at it. And this can help us not only think and feel differently, but also act with more kindness. Practicing kindness can make us happier. And today we are going to do a loving kindness meditation. So this practice is about being kind to ourselves and other people, and it focuses on repeating certain phrases. So this repeating certain phrases over and over again is called metta, M-E-T-T-A. And it's like a reminder or a wish of what we want for ourselves and for others. So the phrases that we are going to be repeating today are, may I be happy, may I be safe, and may I be calm. And you can also make up your own phrases when you're practicing throughout the week, or in your head. You can use different phrases while I'm talking. It's whatever resonates with you and has meaning to you, and whatever feels right to you. So in our heads, we say one phrase at a time. Think about it and take a breath. When you start thinking of something else, just bring your attention back to repeating the phrases. So that's what mindfulness really is noticing when our minds are wandering and just bringing it back. So it really is not a bad thing for you to notice that your mind is wandering. You shouldn't feel discouraged at all. Just Remember to bring it back to what we're doing. You can practice these phrases in your head, or you can whisper them quietly to yourself. So let's get started and get back into your nice comfortable posture, sitting up straight. And you can close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, or you can look at the picture on the screen, or you can just look down in front of you. It's whatever's comfortable for you. So we're going to start off with the nice deep breath and feel direct sensation of the breath in the body. Begin by paying attention to your breath as you breathe in and out. Allow yourself to deepen the breath and enter the present moment. Try relaxing the body on the out breath. Feel what it's like as the air passes through your nostrils, gentle rising of your breath through your nostrils, your chest and your belly rising. And feel your body relaxing. Breathing deeply. So we're going to start repeating the phrases gently to ourselves. And these phrases are what we're focusing on. So we pay attention to the repetition of these phrases. Allowing the body to relax, feeling soft, like cooked spaghetti, gentle. We will go right into the repetition of the phrases. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be calm. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be calm. And keep repeating these phrases or your own phrases silently to yourself as you breathe. The focus of this meditation is on these phrases and allowing ourselves to receive the kindness, the warmth, and compassion for ourselves. So just repeat it to yourself now. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be calm. Now bring to mind someone who brings you joy and happiness. It can be a family member, a friend, a teacher, or a coach. It can be someone from a long time ago in the past, or it may be someone you haven't seen in a very long time, but it's someone that lights you up and brings you joy. And it can be a pet, like your cats, your dogs. Whoever it is, just bring them to mind and try to see them sitting before you, picturing them in your mind's eye. So picturing them clearly, really visualizing them exactly as they are, exactly as you remember them. And now directing toward them what you just wished for yourself. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. Repeating those phrases for this person or pet. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. Wanting for that person what we want for ourselves. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. And now we're going to bring our mind to a neutral person, someone that you don't have particularly strong feelings for. So think of like an acquaintance, like someone from school or a stranger at a coffee shop, your bus driver, and we're going to wish them the same. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. Now bring to your mind a person that you have had a small disagreement with. And we're going to bring that person to our mind and we're going to wish them the same happiness. So not someone that you've had a big fight with, but just a small disagreement. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be calm. And then after that, expanding that outward to everyone in your community who touches your life. Everyone in your neighborhood, your family, your extended friends, everyone on your team, everyone in Special Olympics, Alberta, everyone who touches your life in any way, wishing for these people as you wish for yourself, people that you know and people that you had a disagreement with. May you all be happy. May you all be safe. May you all be calm. May you all be happy. May you all be safe. May you all be calm. And we're going to expand that even farther outwards to include everyone in our geographical area, everyone across the province, everyone across Canada, continuing to expand that feeling and feeling that spaciousness. Expand that well-wishing to whoever they are, wherever they are. May all be happy. May all be safe. May all be calm. Wishing them the same happiness as to yourself. And pay close attention to how your body feels now. Can you feel happiness anywhere in your body? For everyone, it's going to be different. Some people feel happiness in their face. They might feel a smile on their face or their mouth. You might feel it in your belly. Can you notice those sensations in your body? So everyone can open their eyes and come back to the present moment. I've seen a lot of messages in the chat about the different people that you've been thinking about. People are saying they feel more relaxed. They feel excited. Let me know how you feel in your body in the chat. Happy in your heart, that's great to say. So maybe not in your belly or your face, but more in your chest. You feel it. People are feeling more relaxed. Feeling good. Awesome. And I'm interested, was it easier to pay attention or harder when you were saying things to yourself than to other people? Easier? Or it might be hard to tell. Was it easier to think of those things for people that you know well, like people in your family and your friends, than it was for maybe people that you disagree with? People are saying easier. That's great. It's great to notice these things. And did anyone use different phrases than the phrases that I was saying? Were they using their own phrases in their head? And if you're comfortable, maybe you could put those in the chat. might be good ideas for us to use in the future. I am safe, I am protected, I am loved. I love that one. Life is getting easier every day. That's great. I'm loved so much. I like that one. I'm so impressed with you guys. These are great. I might steal some of them for myself. Maybe happy, maybe calm, maybe safe. Great. Okay, so I think to end, I'm gonna ask you, that was all of our activities. What were your favorite out of the 4 we tried? So we did 2 deep breathing, we did the figure 8 breathing, and we did the hot chocolate breathing. And then we did the progressive muscle relaxation. And then this last meditation, the loving kindness meditation. We got some loving kindness. Some people liked all of them. Hot chocolate is still a favorite. Okay, it sounds like we have a top 2. The last one and the hot chocolate. Awesome. Thank you guys. And does anyone think that they can use these activities before their next competition? Yes, nice. Okay, awesome. We're getting a lot of yeses. That's great. One thing that's really good about these activities that we just did is you can do them anywhere. So you don't have to be lying down or moving a whole bunch. You could definitely do them before your competition. The progressive muscle relaxation is one where you're obviously scrunching up your face and getting really tense. So it's not as like secret. But all these other ones you could just do just by sitting. And then I know next week they're going to do some more like moving mindfully. Awesome.
Yeah, and Steph, I'm seeing in the chat, which is awesome. Some people are also saying like they could use them before going to bed, maybe before their next work shift. And that's the great thing about these things is that they can be used whenever. And the more you do use them, the better you'll get at them and the more helpful they might be before your next competition.
Yes. Yes, so that's our next slide, is that the mindfulness muscle is a muscle that you need to keep exercising. Just like you exercise your body, it's good to exercise our minds like this every day. And then we'll get better and better at these mindfulness practices. So remember to keep practicing. And then here is the password. Just make sure everyone gets that before they leave.
And then do we want to see if there's any questions as well for?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions for Jess and Steph? If you do, put up your hand. And Preston, you have a question, don't you? I will ask you to unmute 1 sec.
When you say that the figure 8 was easy, when you say the thing is burning on a candle, I want to think like that. Like right now, this year, how can you think of that burning on a candle? Because this year, no one's burning out candles this year because it's COVID and they don't want to bring COVID. That's why no people are burning candles out no more because of COVID. And I'm thinking that if you think of that, they just do that when you're doing your people saying happy birthday to you. Just do that, and then you know what you're thankful for. So I like that one. It's good because it's what brings my mind good. Thank you for guys. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you, guys. Thank you for doing this. I every Monday is good. Helps me out. Thank you. Bye.
That's great, Preston.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Preston. Looks like we have a question from Alana. Alana, I'm just going to unmute you.
Hey guys, my question was, I'm the type of person that will get overexcited about the smallest thing, and especially when I'm in a new environment. The last time I got overexcited, I was in Brandon, Manitoba with the Special Olympics, and I got, well, let's just say that well, it was kind of like a convulsion, and I got taken away by an ambulance. So my question was since I'm the type of person to get overexcited about the smallest thing, especially in a new surrounding, do you think that meditation would help?
You think meditation would help when you get overly excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question, Alana. And thank you for sharing and for asking that question. I think that meditation could definitely help. It's a good way to maybe prevent getting overexcited so that it's less likely that you'll feel that way. And then especially the deep breathing can be a good way to calm down once you're stressed.
Yeah, I have a few tools that I use, not only the meditation, but my mom got me the fidget spinners, and that it looks like a little cube, but it has like different like switches and buttons on it.
Right.
So I would use the cube and the fidget spinner.
Great. Thank you so much, Alana. I'm going to go to the next person. Danielle, one sec. I'll unmute you.
My question is, when I have a bad game of bowl and I have a hard time refocusing for the next game, what technique would be best for me to use to get my game back on track?
That's a great question, Danielle. Thanks. I think that's a tricky one because different techniques work for different people. So it might be best for you to try out different ones and see which one works. Because sometimes like one might work great for you one day, and then maybe you'll have more success with another one a different way or a different day.
And thank you very much for a great session. That sounds great. I'll try the different ones and see which one works best.
Great. Thanks, Danielle.
Danielle. There's a question in the chat that says, from Damien, that says, can meditation help when you get very angry to the point where you're going to explode?
I think that would be a great time to try some meditation and see how it works for you. What do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I agree, especially because we were kind of talking about earlier how when you do get really angry, you might be like clenching your fists, you might have your shoulders up, you might be feeling really tense. So if you really try and pay attention to relaxing your body and maybe taking some big deep breaths, that could be something that might help.
Perfect. Great question, Damien. I'm going to go to Alex. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
I got a simple question for Steph and Jess.
Sure.
So are you the Special Olympics coach or volunteers?
Good question. I am not a coach. I'm actually not good at sports myself. I wish I could coach, but I have just volunteered in the past at, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the healthy athletes stations at different competitions and stuff, but I really like to help during those events.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Last year I went to the Special Olympics National Games and did some of the healthy athletes there, which was really great. So I'm excited for when we're able to again volunteering at some of those events and hopefully getting to meet some of you guys in person.
That's cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex. Misty, I know you have a question. I'm going to unmute you. Oh.
Got it. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Jess. Will meditation help? I get overwhelmed easily and overstressed, or I start to hyperventilate.
Right. And I think that happens to a lot of people, right? When maybe they're in a new situation, or maybe you're really nervous before a competition, and people will start breathing like really quickly and sometimes even hyperventilating. And I think that might be a good time to try doing some of the deep breathing, where you're really focusing on taking like a long sniff of that hot chocolate and then blowing it out really slowly. It could be something that might help.
Okay, I have a game on the Wii that you sit on the board and you stare at a candle moving until it burns down and down.
Oh, sorry, I missed that last part.
There's a meditation thing on one of my Wii games that you sit on the board and you look at the candle about moving. The candle slowly burns down. That helps too.
Oh yeah, that would be helpful. Sounds really calming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Misty. I have 2 more questions. I'll go to Jordan and then Sarah.
Okay, my question is because when I went to the World Games, I felt it was my first time, so I was really, really anxious and nervous. Do you know how I can work on that for the next World Games if I got asked to?
Right. Good question, Jordan. I think first, it's okay to be nervous before the games, right? Because it shows that you really care and you really want to do a good job. But I know that sometimes it also does kind of get in the way of doing your best. So I think these are things that would be really good to practice, like throughout your competitions all year before you get to the World Games, because then once you do get to World Games, you'll be really good at them and they might be even more helpful. What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think just like when you're practicing, you're like exercising your body, getting ready for your competition, you can also try out practicing your mind using some mindfulness techniques. And there's a lot more than just the ones that we tried today. So you could even like try a different one every week. You could just explore and maybe see what you like. And then when it gets to the competition, you can think like, oh, what have I practiced? What do I remember? And then, yeah, maybe you will be able to remember some things that you tried before that worked and that you really liked. Hopefully, something will be able to make you feel a little bit better.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. And Sarah, I'm going to go to you 1 sec.
Okay, my question is, sometimes I listen to music to calm myself down. So I listen to some of my favorite songs. Is that a good thing to help you with?
Yeah, Sarah, I think that's a great strategy. And just like we said, some people will find these ones that we talked about today really useful, but others might have other strategies that work better for them. And that's totally okay. So if you find music calming, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Jess and Steph. One more question, sorry. I'm going to go one more and then we will say goodbye. So Tia, I'm going to unmute you quick.
Okay, I'm sorry, my question is, I go for walks a lot. Is that calming too, like out in the fresh air?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's such a good idea. So exercise is also something that is really good.
And I also play puzzles too on my iPad. That's calming too? It feels for me.
Yeah, I think that's really calming too. And I know it's been like stations in the Strong Minds program that there's like Strong Messages is a station where you can think of some things that make you happy. So that might be like your pets. It could be your favorite songs, like Sarah said, or like pictures of your family. Just things that make you happy and that you like can really help you calm down.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Tia. Okay, thank you all very much for being here on a Monday night. Can we all do a clap for Jess and Steph? Thank you very much for leading us through an awesome mindfulness session. I think some really cool things about it is we'll be able to use a lot of what they taught us when we get back to competition and when we get back to programs. But I think the coolest part is we can use this in everyday life as well, like you all mentioned. So thank you all again. I will see you next Monday. And thank you, Jess and Steph, again. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, bye everybody. Have a good night.